Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new archetype called the Zhang Jen. They're a new swordsman worm archetype. I don't even know if they're any good, but the most important thing is we can see their boss monster, so that gives us insight if they're going to be good or not. Now, these are going to be coming out in a burst of destinies as well. And if you guys are excited about a new archetype, drop a like on it, because I definitely want to see what these can do. So anyways, they talk more about the translation. It doesn't really matter for the name. Keep in mind the name might be changed because it's just a new translation. We just got this information right now. Anyways, the first card that we're going to be taking a look at is Mo Yi, the Zhang Jen Swordmaster. So it's going to be a level 4 water, 1700 attack, 1800 defense points. And as far as I'm aware of, these are all going to be worms. So anyways, it says that you can only use this card's name, first and second effects, each once per turn. The first part of the effect is if this card is normal or special summon, you can reveal a Zhang Jen card or one worm monster in your hand. Special summon one Zhang Jen token, Worm Tuner, Water, level 4, 0 attack, 0 defense. While that token is on the field, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except for synchro monsters. If this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you get to draw a card. Okay, well, and nonetheless, at least you get a token off of it. But there is technically some restriction. Now I'm wondering, while that token is on the field, it says you can't. I'm wondering, because it doesn't say controller, if, because we just got this announcement, if it's the controller of this token, you can creature swap, give it to them, and then they'd maybe be locked out, potentially, if they can't tribute summon it, right? And if they can't just go and make something, right into it, because chances are they're not going to be able to. Anyways, next up, we have Tai A, the Zhang Jen Swordmaster. So it's going to be a level 4 wind worm effect monster, and it's got 1800 attack and 1500 defense points. Here's the zoomed up artwork, and it says that you can only use this card's name, first and second effects, each once per turn. The first part of it is you get to banish a Zhang Jen card or a worm monster from your graveyard to special summon one Zhang Jen token. And the token, it looks like it's to be the same, Worm Tuner, Water, level 4, 0/0. While the token is on the field, you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck except for synchro monsters. So it's a new synchro archetype, I guess. The second part is, if this card is sent to the graveyard as a synchro material, you get to send one Zhang Jen card or one worm monster from your deck to the graveyard. So it foolishes. You can maybe use this in something else. However, it says specifically a Zhang Jen card or just a worm. That worm doesn't have to be a Zhang Jen. Next up, though, let's take a look at some maybe of their more powerful monsters, as this one is a level 6. This is Long Yuan, the Zhang Jen Tactician, and it is going to be a level 6 fire worm effect monster, 1200 attack and 2300 defense points. And it says that you can only use this card's name, first and second effects, each once per turn. The first part of the effect is you get to discard one other Zhang Jen card or one worm monster to special summon this card from your hand. Then you can special summon one Zhang Jen token, Worm Tuner, Water, level 4, 0/0. While that token is on the field, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except for synchro monsters. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you get to inflict 1200 damage to your opponent. So unfortunately, since this effect is only once per turn, I was just already thinking, yo, can we just start looping this card? But yeah, unfortunately, they already said nope to that. Next up, though, we have Chun, the Zhang Jen Auspicious Beast, and here is the zoomed up artwork. Another level 6 Earth, 2400 attack, 1800 defense points. It is also going to be another worm monsters, and it says that you can only use this card's name, first and third effects, each once per turn. The first part of the effect is during the main phase, as a quick effect, you contribute one monster to special summon this card from your hand. The second part is before damage calculation, if your worm monster battles an opponent's special summon monster from the extra deck, you can destroy that opponent's monster and this card. Okay, so it instantly just gets rid of that card, although it is by card effect. It would be so much better if it was send, but nonetheless, the third part of the effect is if this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you get to target one card in the field or in either graveyard and banish it. This is a pretty good effect for sure. Okay, now the most important thing is their boss monsters, the new synchros. Here is the zoomed up artwork on this card. This is Xiao, the Zhang Jen Grand Swordmaster. Okay, so that's the synchro over here. It's going to be a level 8 light worm synchro effect monster, 2800 attack, 1000 defense. Its materials are going to be 1 tuner plus 1 non-tuner worm monsters. And it says you can only use the first of this card's name, first or second effects per turn, and only once that turn. The first part of the effect is if this card is synchro summon, you get to add to your hand or banish one Zhang Jen card from your deck. The second part, as a quick effect, you can banish a Zhang Jen card or one worm monster from your hand or graveyard. then target one other effect monster on the field, negate its effects until the end of this turn. At least that is a quick effect. It still kind of helps out. Unfortunately, it does not also destroy the monster, but he has a formidable 2,800 attack points. Next up, then we have Chengying, the Zhang Jen Grand Duke. This is going to be a level 10 Water Worm Synchro effect monster. It's got 3,000 attack and 3,000 defense. This is definitely their boss monster, and it requires 1 tuner and 1+ non-tuner monster. So it doesn't even require a worm. So this is generic synchro. And it says that you can only use this card's named third effect once per turn. The first part of the effect is it gains 100 attack and / defense for each banished card. Gren Maju, okay. I doubt you're going to be able to make it in that. But anyways, monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack and defense for each banished card. So it's basically like a 200 boost at minimum, because everything is basically losing 100 for each. So you could definitely get a massive amount of damage with this card. The second part of the effect is if this card would be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish a card, any card from your graveyard. Wow, that's a really good effect. I mean, it's basically cannot be destroyed by battle. If you activate 1 Desires, that's already instantly basically, yeah, that's an insane amount, because yeah, you gain like 1,000, but on top of that, your opponent loses 1,000. So it's basically, if you want to think of it kind of, it's like a 5,000 attack, and if it would be destroyed by a card effect, you just, dang, that's insane. And then the third effect, if this card becomes banished, you can banish 1 card each from your opponent's field and graveyard. That's a decent effect. I definitely see a lot of people potentially using this in any, I don't know about Gren Maju really like taking out to synchro for it, but it definitely fits like the theme of it. And on top of that, you can start banishing your cards, which is really good for a lot of different archetypes. I'm wondering if you can like try to destroy it just so you can like get the correct amount of like lights or darks. Like there's a lot of things that you can do with this card. Definitely a cool card, and it's generic. This is definitely going to be a good card for Yu-Gi-Oh. Next up though, we also have extra support for them. Don't think it's done yet. So anyways, we have the Zhang Jen Dragon Sword Appears, which here's the artwork on it. It is a normal spell card. Dude, I love the artwork on that. That looks really cool. Anyways, normal spell card, you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name each once per turn. The first part of the effect is to add 1 Zhang Jen monster from your deck to your hand, or if you control a synchro monster, you get to add 1 worm monster instead. Okay, pretty good stuff. The second part is, if this card is banished, you can target 1 Zhang Jen or worm monster you control, increase or decrease its level by 1 until the end of the turn. Oh, so to help you make some of the other boss monsters. Next up, we have Zhang Jen, the Grand Spiritual Peak, which is a normal spell card, and here is the zoomed up artwork on this card. And it's a normal spell card that says you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name each once per turn. The first part of the effect is to target 1 Zhang Jen monster in your graveyard to special summon it. If you control a synchro monster, you can target 1 worm monster instead. The second part is, if this card is banished, you get to target 1 Zhang Jen or worm monster you control, increase or decrease its level by 1 until the end of the turn. What's weird is you don't even get anything for its increased level. Like, I guess it's just to make it, but I mean, at the end of the day, we'll see what the rest of the support has for it. Next up, we have the Zhang Jen Research, is a normal trap card that says you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name each once per turn. The first part of it says target 1 face-up monster you control, banish up to 5 Zhang Jen cards and or worm monsters from your graveyard, and if you do, that target gains 300 attack for each. The second part of the effect is, if this card is banished, you get a special summon a Zhang Jen token worm water tuner, and it has that effect while it's on the field. You can't special summon except for things out of the extra deck, except for synchro monsters. Okay. Next up, though, we have Zhang Jen Sudden Shift, and it's another normal trap card that says you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name each once per turn. The first part of the effect is to target a worm monster you control and 2 cards your opponent controls and just destroy them. So it's basically like an Icarus attack, and then when this card is banished, you can special summon another token. It has that effect, but you can't go for anything except for those synchro monsters. So, I mean, I feel like these cards are, I mean, this card can tactically be used. It's not like absolutely terrible. I think trap cards are relatively slow, and the fact that this has to be 5 Zhang Jen cards or worm monsters, it's too conditional, whereas the other card is just like, just banish 1 card. If that other card support had just like banish 1, we have a little bit more potential for this to be tactically utilized, and if it's like 5, yeah, you can increase it up to, you know, a decent amount of attack. But at the same time, it's just any face-up monster. You don't have to target a Zhang Jen to get the boost, though. But I think in this archetype, of course, if you're playing the deck, that's what you're going to be using. I think this monster is really good. Someone's going to figure out how to make this card really good. And you could just make it so, like, you know how these monsters give it the effect? If you could just make it so this card cannot be targeted also, like if we have like another monster that, you know, when this card is used as material for synchro summon, if you got that effect on top of the Grand Duke, this card would be insanely powerful, I think. But anyways, it's good though. This is already looking to be a pretty decent archetype. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section below. But thanks for tuning in, guys, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here and you want to see more new Yu-Gi-Oh cards as soon as they get announced, hit subscribe, turn that bell, and you'll definitely see more. But take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next vid. And I'm out. Peace.